With the Tour de France over for another year, the stars of cyclo-cross will already be looking ahead to their gruelling training in preparation for the winter season. inCycle caught up with Dutch rider Lars van der Haar to find out more about the ins and outs of the discipline.
I started cycling because I had an injury in gymnastics. So that's the first reason I started. Then I hated cycling. It took me a year before I got to be a member of a club. And in that club, when it became winter, they did a lot of cyclo-cross. So it was just a question, what am I gonna do in the winter? Am I gonna go on the mountain bike to just do some tours, or am I gonna do cyclo-cross and do some small races? And that's what I started to do. I think I was about 12 when I started cyclo-cross. Cyclo-cross looks really good on TV, and it's a very fast sport, so when you would be watching it in real life, you would really think like, wow, how can they go so fast over this course? I think that's also the charm of our sport and makes it really nice to watch, also because it's only just an hour. So if you got nothing to do on Sunday or Saturday, you just grab a cup of coffee and then some piece of apple pie and you can watch cyclo-cross, and after that you can still go outside with your children or dog. Yeah, what has to change? I think they're trying to do it with the World Cups in America, and the scene in America is huge. The Americans experience the sport a lot different than us. Also, the model to earn money on the races there is a lot different than ours. And I do miss the World Cups in England because they were so busy when we had Milton Keynes. I would really like to go back there. And I'm happy for next year they will do one in Switzerland, and they will come back a bit to the old countries where it used to be really big. But I think it's really difficult to suddenly make it into a world sport. I think you have to focus also on the countries that were big and see if you can get it back there and then build on from there. The cyclo-cross bike and road bike difference in the width of the forks. So you have a wider tire, and it has to fit in the frame. So the frame is a little bit longer, a little bit wider. That makes the bikes a little bit different than to a road bike. It changed the riding completely. Normally you went down a hill and you already started braking on top of the hill, so you had brakes at the bottom of the hill. Now you can go in full speed and know you have brakes at the end, so that's totally different. The speeds go a lot higher than they were 5 or 6 years ago. The ride has changed, yeah. I mean, when I came over, I was racing against all 30-plus riders in age, and now I'm racing against only riders below my age suddenly. So in 2-3 years' time, it changed completely. It was just suddenly from me racing against the oldies, them racing against my oldie. I don't know, it just changed completely. Yeah, well, the motivation is just to try and grab that place behind them then. I mean, yeah, for the big public, they think that we are less good than them, and maybe that is a little bit true, but yeah, we're speaking about the small percentages and they are just so good. Yeah, it's difficult it's not like we're not doing anything to try and to make that gap less big, but it's they are just, yeah, a percentage better, and then we just have to go for the places behind that and try to find weaknesses and still beat them where we can. Cyclo-cross is an hour full gas. If you are just 1 or 2% not as good as you want it to be, then it's really difficult to become top 5 and you'll be in the big group behind. But also the racing changed a lot since the last 5 years. I mean, when I came over, you had a fast lap and then it was a slow lap and then the race started, and that really was a big advantage for me as an explosive rider, and that's why I could do a lot of good races. Nowadays with Mathieu and Wout, the race just starts full gas from the beginning till the end, and it's like a time trial all the way. I mean, there are not many races that were tactical anymore, and but where 5 years ago the races were more tactical, you can also bluff your way that 1 or 2%. The under-23 is not to be compared with the elite. It's totally different. There are always people that dominate the under-23 and then they come to the pros, and it's really difficult to make your mark. Luckily, I've been able to do that the past 5-6 years. The last 2 seasons weren't the seasons I wanted them to be, but I know I can do a lot better than I've showed.